Hey everybody, Dave here. This is a single video in my 15-part series for Let's Build in Blue Prism using Notepad++. I'm assuming that if this isn't part one, then you have seen the video prior to this. Let's get started. So we need to turn word wrap on if it's off, and then don't do anything if word wrap is already selected. And as I mentioned before, I think I talked about this already, is that we may have to use surface automation to verify this, because I don't know of any way for the bot to see this item. If I use UI automation mode, maybe it can read whether this is true or false. So let's check that really quick. Let's go into the object and into application modeler, bring up Notepad. Oh, we got attached to it. All right, then application modeler. So I think we want to place the button inside of here, and we'll call this button view. This will probably be in AA mode as well. Matter of fact, let's use the element mask from this button over here. Copy, paste, view. Here we go. All right, so that can find it. We can then add a child to this. It's kind of like a checkbox. We'll call it a check button. I don't know. Word wrap. Word warp. Identify. And we're probably going to have to use UI automation mode for this, if it even detects it. What? It worked. Cool. Okay, it just wasn't showing up. Word wrap. Wow. I'd say the only way to really know for sure is, let's go deselect word wrap and create another element and identify that as well. UI, word wrap, and then see if anything's different. So if I click between these two, there's no difference between those. And set everything upside down. Okay, so you can see there's no difference. Oh, there it is. Boom. There it is. Ho, 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 ho. No. No, that's not it. That's just keyboard focus. Check button word wrap. We're going to say off and word wrap on. Let's just see. I really don't think this is the case, but let's just try it. What we want to do was is we're going to test verifying whether word wrap is there. So let's set word wrap. Okay, set word wrap. Word warp. And this is going to do something similar to what this does, so we can benefit from all of this logic. Main menu window button exists. We'll probably just use that one. Doesn't hurt for now. And then window list appear. This is not going to be what we want at the end, but we'll disconnect it actually and change it later. We first want to click the view button. So click button view. Here, click it, then we want to see if after we've clicked that, let's just verify which one of these are available. Verify on. I don't think this is really going to be the case though. That doesn't make any sense. highlight true. Just want to see if it's there. And if I do this, okay, so that's not the case. So I was wrong. You can't. I was thinking that one attribute that changed a value. Yeah, so I still found it. I thought there was a chance that that one UI automation attribute meant that it was selected, but from what you can see here, this actually didn't make a difference. Wait a minute. I didn't have that selected. Now I have to do the test all over again. So this time it probably should find it. Yeah. But now if I go and I turn this off, am I still wrong? I'm still wrong. Okay. So, well, anyway, if you worked with UI automation a lot, feel free to let me know in the comments if I'm totally misunderstanding the point of some of these things. This doesn't tell me that it means it's selected or deselected, but I thought maybe it was mislabeled, which can happen sometimes. So, whatever. That won't work. Okay, we're probably going to do surface automation then. And I think the easiest way is going to be to check whether it's selected or not. If it is selected, then we don't do anything. If it is not selected, then we do something, and then maybe verified at the end. So let's select this, and then we're going to do a region mode. So we've gone into that. We don't need this button anymore. I'm meant to click identify, view. Here's where we're going to go over to region mode. Oops, region mode, and we're actually going to have to probably do the whole area. Yeah, and we're going to make a region right here. Word wrap. Now this means like this won't work if the font size of the application is larger, if the color is different, probably the resolution of the computer. A lot of stuff can affect this, but probably just in testing we'd find out more. I'm gonna call this, and this is gonna be surface automation. The position is going to be relative. Maybe we should just do anywhere, right? It'd probably be fast. So this would be anywhere. It'll find this. Then our second region, we will select that little checkbox, and we'll call this word wrap. Surface automation. This one's going to be relative, and the relative parent is word wrap text. And you can see if you look close, there's a little line that goes from the checkbox to word wrap, and that's like the word wrap is the anchor for this. Search padding. I don't think we really need to worry about the search padding because it's relative to word wrap and it's already got a built-in padding. Color tolerance might be useful. It's at 0 right now, but I think it's going to work anyways. So we'll mess with that later if we need to. All right. What do we need to do now? So that's just whether or not it exists in the place we expect it to. Now the problem there, let me go back in. The problem will be is if this padding is it could find that same checkbox looking thing right next to one of these other items. So tab looks like, okay, so it might not be a problem. If tab could get selected and have a checkbox, or if focus another view could have a checkbox, then we might have a problem, because this search padding could almost look that far. And if there's any chance that it didn't find this checkbox, but then it did find a checkbox here, then we might have to worry about it giving us like a false positive for whether word wrap is on. Okay, I don't think it's gonna be a problem though. Cool. Window text. This is not gonna be right. We need Notepad ++ with a wildcard before it. And let's highlight. Okay, so it finds that region, and then we can find this region. Okay, and there's not really a way for us to verify that this exists because this has to be on. So let's just try clicking on it if it exists, and if it does not exist, then we won't click on it. Word wrap text exists. Check exists. True. It'll wait for 5 seconds. Word wrap text error. Word wrap text did not appear or could not be found. Then after we have verified that's there, now we want to determine. Okay, I actually want to change it now that if I'm remembering back to some of the suggestions Blue Prism gives for how to deal with things like this. Since I have found word wrap, I can actually just look to the left of it and see if it's a solid color. I just need to remember how to do that. So checkbox word wrap, and I need to know. Let's go into this and word wrap. Do I need to remember the image? True. Image coordinates relative to this. Click OK. Then let's look at. I think this is gonna work. Then we just go into here, and I can't remember if is it in a navigate stage or in a read stage. Is it in a wait stage? I mean, I can't remember. Man. Here it is. Okay. So, we don't need, we actually do need to click at some point, but only if it goes this direction. Okay. Word wrap selected. Then we're going to choose the checkbox. Uniform color equals, if it's a uniform color, then it's not selected. If it is not a uniform color, then it is selected. So don't worry about the logic, that's confusing. But I think instead of clicking, here's what we should do. We should just set whether or not it's selected. Word wrap local var. False, and we'll just say like selected. Word wrap selected. Should be a flag. true. All right, so what I'm done here is we're just trying to determine whether word wrap is selected or not. We won't have a wait here. It's going to be 0 wait. And if it times out, then word wrap is not selected, so we want to set that to false. This will become false. If it is selected, then this will become true. Then the input variable, which I haven't set yet, but the input variable is going to be on. Oops, flag. Set word wrap on, and true or false wrap on. False turns word wrap off. Then down here I can compare word wrap, set word wrap on to word wrap selected. Is word wrap already correct? Set correctly. Okay. If it's not set correctly, then I just want to click it. Click on the checkbox. Mouse button. All right. Whoops. Click word wrap to change. Okay, what we have is an action now that will just check to make sure something exists on the screen that indicates we're in the right place. It clicks the view button up here. Then it checks to see that this text word wrap exists. If it does, then we know that we can try to look just to the left of it, relative to where this position is, and see if this spot right here is a solid color or not. So we are setting our local variable that we have to track whether or not word wrap is on or off. We're going to set that to true. Then this actually needs to feed back down into here. All right, so if it's not selected though, meaning that it comes out to true when we say, is it a solid color? Yes, it's a solid color. That means it's not selected. So we need to say false. It's not selected. And then we can compare, is word wrap set correctly? So what the person passed in as true or false, do I want word wrap selected? If they say true, then it'll compare to this. If this is true, also true, then the answer to is word wrap set correctly will come out to true, because it does equal. And that means it'll go around the path and it won't click on word wrap at all. So what we're going to do now is click view, and before we leave this page, or before we allow the action to continue, I want to verify that word wrap does not exist. And that means that the contextual menu has gone away. That way no unintended bad things could occur, hopefully. Word wrap text exists. We want this to be false. Okay. And so if after 5 seconds it's still true, then we want word wrap text error. Word wrap text is still visible after trying to close the view contextual menu. We got an error. Stage to store result in does not exist. Word wrap selected. Right. Word wrap selected. And this one's already correct. So the error should go away. I think we're ready to test this. So all this should do is it should take an input. So let's say our initial value is going to be true for word wrap to be on, because I think that's a good default value. Set up, set word wrap action ready to test. Main menu button is there. Yes. Okay, we'll click button view. Then if the word wrap text is there, it didn't find it though. I bet I know why. Let's close this in really tight. I think what might be happening is that if this is blue all the way out to here, then word wrap might not be able to be found because part of what it's looking for is blue. So let's try that. Still not finding it. Okay. Why do we have that? Why do we have the window text selected? Wildcard. Let's overlay this on a new region. Okay, it's not finding word wrap. Let's try the color tolerance. Wait. Text. Well, I found it now, so maybe just color tolerance is what we needed. All right, looks good. Now, if I deselect this, see if it'll still find it, and now it should change it to true. Now, we're only running this at a slow speed, so even if this works, there's not really any indication that it's going to work properly in the end. Okay, so it found that it's false. Is it set correctly? No. Okay, well, we need to select it. Ooh, that was fast. Click word wrap to change. Click view button. Oh, okay, so it worked. Cool. If I change this to, say, false, reset, and run it now. Just want to run this at a slow speed before we run it at a fast speed so I can see if it's doing anything weird. Is it set correctly? No. Click it. And then click view. What? Oh, that's tough. I see what's going on. When you click, that's awesome. Okay, when you click word wrap, so if we click the button, if we don't click word wrap, that's when we need to click the view button. If we click word wrap, we don't need to click view because it already takes the contextual menu away. All right, good to know. So all we have to do is move this view button over here. Oop. Delete this. Oh no, we actually need that. And then both of these will feed directly in here like that. So whether we click word wrap to change or we click the view button, in either case, we're bringing ourselves back into the state we were in before we started this action. And now I'm confident it'll work. Let's run it at a faster speed. And we would expect, since its word wrap is on, we would expect it to change word wrap to off. It always surprises me when it works really fast. Now it's off. Let's change it to true to on. Looks good. And let's run it again. It shouldn't change anything. All right. Then let's set it off. Run it again, and it shouldn't change anything. All right. Looks good. Set word wrap. Let's publish it. Set word wrap, tested, and published. Now we can go add that to our process. You know, now it might be about time we use sub pages, but we're just doing word wrap, no big deal. Close Notepad. Before we close Notepad, let's change word wrap. Set word wrap on. True. We're added action to reference to set word wrap. And so now we can open some files to test everything at once. Set word wrap to word wrap is off, so we would expect it to come in, close these files, set word wrap, and then close Notepad. We'll test it once from here and then once from control room. All right. I think we should be proud of ourselves at this point. Things are going right along smoothly after we fix some of those other silly problems, like with calling that one window attribute thing instead of AA attribute. Okay, we've got the two files open that we expect, and view has word wrap on. Cool. I guess we should run it again, probably with word wrap on, but we can run it from control room, and I'm not really worried about it. Well, no, because we do need to deal with clicking the view button, so let's run it one more time. We could test two things. So it shouldn't do anything with the files that are open, and it shouldn't set anything with word wrap. So effectively it's just verifying that the settings are as they should be. All right, perfect. Let's close this and run from control room. Let's go open some stuff. Actually, I guess we'll run the same thing from control room, verify it doesn't try to do anything. Reason you want to run it from control room too, in case I haven't mentioned this 8 times already, is that it runs in some cases significantly faster in control room than in process in Object Studio. And so it's always best to do your testing there as soon as possible, because you'll find out a lot of timing issues. Now this time I'm going to open these files, right? I'm going to set word wrap off, so we can see it's off, close, and then run this from control room again. Should close those. Boom, 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 boom. Set word wrap, close. Okay, so we've just got those two files open, and we have word wrap on. Yay! Okay. I think we've done a great job today. Good job, everybody, and let's continue next time. Wait, what are we doing next? All right, thanks for watching this part of this 15-part series in Let's Build in Blue Prism, where we work with Notepad++. I'll see you next time.